Have you ever looked into the mirror and felt like you're not enough? Not good enough, not smart enough, not deserving enough? Yeah? If that hit home, stay with me because in next 20 minutes we are going to uncover what's behind that feeling and more importantly, how to rise above it. Hello beautiful souls. Welcome to Magnetized Self where we explore the art of healing, self-awareness and personal transformation. Hi, I'm Roopa. Let's discover how to harness your inner power, build resilience, and magnetize the life you desire. By the end of this talk, I would want you to walk away with a deeper understanding of self worth and practical steps to feel more confident, capable, and deserving in your life. Because, guess what? You are worth it, my dear friend. Whether you believe it or not, you are worth it. If you find this helpful, stick around, hit that like button, and share this video with someone who might need a reminder of their own worth. Let's dive in. Let's start by understanding what lack of self worth really means. It's that sneaky voice in your head that tells you, my dear friend, you're not good enough to succeed. You don't deserve love, happiness, or success. You're somehow less than everyone else. I'm sure all of you, whoever is listening to this, including me, have heard this voice. In fact, I would rather call it noise in our own head. These voices are not very loud, but many a times it is very subtle. It will show up something like hesitating to speak up in a meeting or doubting yourself before trying something new. But over time, my dear friend, it can hold you back from living the life you deserve. Why do you feel this way? Have you ever given a thought? Do you really think the truth is feeling unworthy often comes from an external factor that we have internalized over a time? Here are a few examples that I can think of to share with you, my friends. The very first one I can think of is comparison. Often we get compared with our cousins or somebody, some of our parents, friends, children. They're better than us and all that, right? So, or else in the current world, social media makes it easy to compare your life to someone else's highlights reel. But remember, my dear friend, you're comparing their best moments to your everyday's life. And when somebody else compares you to somebody else, they're comparing totally a different personality. So, do you really think comparison will make your worth less? Think about it. Yet another thing I can think of is negative experiences that you might have encountered mostly as a child that you would have been carrying all the way now. Example that you would have gone happily and merrily to one of your people, like it can be a sibling or some aunt or your parent or a teacher, and you'd have showcased something and they would have told you're not good enough for XYZ reason. We actually don't know what the reason is, but we have imbibed that particular feeling of not good enough or not feeling enough at that point in time, and you have carried that belief ever since. Do you really think carrying that belief will really put down your worth? Does it really define your self worth? Think about it, my dear friend. Another thing I can think of is unrealistic expectations. People often expect, but when it becomes unrealistic for an individual, an individual ends up carrying throughout the life as it's not been met. Society often sets impossible standards for beauty, success, or even happiness of an individual. When we don't measure up, we feel like failures. Sometimes our own family members, to enhance our life, they end up making us feel small with their action or with the talk, assuming things will get better. But there are many times we take it as a belief that we are not worthy enough. So, my dear friend, do really think setting our own expectation for our life would make it better, or carrying another person's expectation and end up feeling like a failure and feeling unworthy will actually define the worth of you in your life? Think about it. Here is the kicker, my friend. Do you really think are those beliefs are true? Are they based on facts? Absolutely no. They are absolutely lies and they are not facts. And today we are going to challenge them together with steps on building self-worth in next couple of minutes. So if you're with me till here, make sure that you comment yes, I'm with you 100% in the comment box below, and let's move on. Even before I share the steps to build your self-worth, I would want to share how lack of self worth shows up in your life. It's not a very obvious thing to just catch it like that. It's a conscious effort and an awareness that helps you to overcome the lack of self worth. Sometimes lack of self worth shows like saying yes to everyone because you're afraid to say no. Sometimes we end up saying yes even though if it's not our cup of tea. Many a times avoiding opportunities is also lack of self-worth. Think about it. One of the ways that lack of self-worth shows up is people overwork to prove their value, which may not actually make them feel worthy enough, but they end up overworking just to prove the value. People end up staying in toxic relationship because they don't feel like they deserve any better. If you could relate to any of these discussed points, make a note, my dear friend, you're not alone. Many of us are going through these stuffs, but the good news is you have the power to change this, and I'm here to help you out on that today. Make sure you comment yes. And with that, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, my dear friends, let's start the understanding of the steps on how to build your self worth. And let's start with good part. How do we break free? Now, let's start with the steps. The very first step is recognize the lies. Write down all the negative thoughts or list down all the thoughts that are negative you have about yourself. For example, you can ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If not, why are you saying it to yourself, my dear one? Just think about it and write down all such negative thoughts that you are telling yourself. These are absolute lies. When you don't want to say to your loved one, how would you say to yourself? Step 2. Celebrate small wins. You do not need massive achievements to feel good about yourself, my dear one. Start with little things. Did you make it through a tough day? Were you able to make a list that I discussed or I asked you in the previous step? Or did you show up for a friend in need. Celebrate such small moments. Recognize these wins. Small wins are much more beautiful to be recognized by you to understand how worthy you are. Step 3. Set boundaries. Saying no doesn't make you mean, my friend. It makes you very strong. Remember that. Your time and energy is very precious. Protect them. If you don't value your own time and energy, who would? Think about it, my dear one. Step 4. Practice self compassion. Talk to yourself like you would talk to your loving dearest friend. Messed up? It's absolutely okay. Learn, forgive, and move forward. Do not read the book from backwards. Instead, go ahead, close the chapter, move on, learn, move on. Step 5. Last but not the least, a bit difficult one, but you can get through it. I'm here to help you out. Surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and support you, my dear friend. I know it's a difficult task when we depend on outside environment. We may not have this kind of right environment at this point in time in our life. I would like to ask a question to you right now. Why can't you start being that person for yourself? Amazing question, right? Once upon a time, this changed my whole world. So, I would ask you this question today. Why can't you be that person for yourself who can uplift and support your own self? To summarize the step, the very first step is recognize the lies, celebrate the small wins, set boundaries, practice self compassion, surround yourself with positivity. Make sure that you follow these 5 steps to uplift your self worth and overcome the lack. Loads of love. Now, let's jump to an exercise that would really help you. Here is what something I would want you to try right now. I'm okay once you understand. Pause the video and do the activity. Grab a piece of paper or open your notes app. Write down 3 things you like about yourself. They can be anything: a skill, a personality trait in you, or even your beautiful smile. I'm sure it feels hard to many who are listening this podcast. Don't at all worry, my dear one. It gets easier the more you practice. Remember, self-worth is like a muscle. The more you work on it, the stronger it gets. Here is my challenge for you, my dear one. For the next 1 week, start your day by writing down one thing that you are proud about yourself. It doesn't matter how big or small, just one thing. And at the end of the week, look back at your list. You will be amazed to see what you have written down. If this message has resonated, please do me a favor, like this video, share with people who would really need a reminder and who need a little self love. Hit that subscribe button for more tips on living your best life. You are not just supporting me, you're also helping to spread a message of self worth to others who need it. It's time to align with your true self and shine. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this journey with me. Your time and energy means a lot. Until next time, keep shining, keep growing, and always magnetize your infinite potential. See you soon, friends. Loads of love.